the boy with no balls, but I've been doing so good so far. She's so fine, but she got no car, so I'll just make the drive, but it's so far. Subpar like PGA, but still hot like the moms in PTA. She want an easy date, I'm in. See the way I've been acting differently, PDA.
So tell me why I do these things for you. So tell me why. So tell me why. Now I say bye. I ain't simping for these hoes. I'll tell you bye. I'll tell you bye.
Baby, I just wanna fly cause I can't stop. And you're looking real fine in the crop top or the blue sundress. I ain't talking about sex cause I tell you every day it makes your eyes pop. Kinda wanna roll with you and vibe with you. I ain't like this other dudes I'm sliding through. Tell me what you wanna do, I'm asking you. Tell me what you wanna do, ayy. It's the greatest white boy since Mike Bibby. At my first show, I'ma pull up with a biddy. When I'm walking down the street, they be pointing and screaming like, goddamn, is it MC Gibby? On the way to Paris, hope I'm on the right flight. And I'm hoping that I see you on the right night. Cause if I see a man, baby, then we might fight. But he ain't my height.
I ain't rockin' no Saint Laurent. I got a bad bitch in the Gucci Crocs. You want a money bag in the Bentley truck, but I don't wife no hoe cause I'm MC God, ayy. I'll be pulling all these mills, shout out gravy. She be talking about her life, damn that's crazy. I done made so many hits, you should come pay me. Man, it comes so easy, but I'm never lazy.
Why? So tell me why? So tell me why? So tell me
So baby, I'ma tell you why. I ain't playing no games, don't waste my time. I got a bad bitch sitting on racks, that's sitting on bags, that's sitting on me.
So tell me why I do these things for you. So tell me why. So tell me why. Now I say bye. I ain't simping for these hoes. I'll tell you bye.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. How is everyone doing today? This morning or evening or afternoon? Also, Daph, do you want to let me know which deck you would like me to use for your priority Angel Oracle pull? Hello Daisy. Good that you're good, Arthur. Muldoon. Daphne isn't able to snuggle with you at the moment because she's got to clean. So you should just watch the stream and maybe get a tarot reading as well. Cato tarot reading. Maybe my cat can read for your cat. Sleepy, but did get a bunch of chores done. Nice job. Are you all moved into your place now, or is there still a bunch of stuff to do? Yes, I am well, thank you. Busy day today, big day of work and events and stuff today, but glad I'm home now and it's evening and we're doing readings because it's a lot of fun to hang out with everyone. Viv is sick, getting better though. Oh, I'm glad you're getting better. Let me join the queue for Muldoon. I had a long flight last night. Oh, where were you? Oh, actually, you don't have to tell us where you're flying, but like, how long was the flight that you had? Cat shuffling a tarot deck. Yeah, Hanyul doing a tarot reading. What she would do is she'd put the deck here and then knock it off the table, and then whichever cards is flipped over, then that's the reading. You're mostly moved in, just a few things left to unpack. Shelves. Oh, okay. That's exciting though. Alright, let's do this card for Daphne. Okay, you got this card already, like in the previous reading, but you got Sunlight again. If he's still expecting you at the place that was in that reading, that's probably why he's bringing it up. But I like to think that this card is a nice card as well. Sunlight. Yes, he's still expecting you. One and a half, but ended up being longer. Oh no. That's the wrong box. Alright. Daisy's first. So let me know what reading you would like and which deck you'd like me to use. Also, sunning my Don't Have Bad Dream rocks today. Oh, very good. I'm assuming that's like amethyst and like another rock, another crystal that's like black, so maybe obsidian or tourmaline. I feel like there's another stone coming to mind, but I don't know which one it is. Onyx? Oh yeah, could be Onyx. Reading from a set, any deck will work. Okay. We have this one right here because I was just using it, so we can use this one too. It's a little purple bag of rocks. Oh yes. Well, they must be good rocks. Oh, okay. 4 cards. Good that they've been working. Oh, never mind. Surprise. It was 5 cards. Hey, Neppy. Welcome in. In the Melbs. Welcome to the Melbs. The best city in Australia, obviously. Alright. Let me turn all these cards around. I had to take a second to look at them. So these are your cards. Knum, resourcefulness. Nefti, meditation. Mutsaga, righteousness. Mut, being ordinary. And also Konsu, hermitage. Oh no, you can't stay. That's okay. Alright, so for your reading with Assets, one of the first things that she wants you to know is that you're doing alright and to not worry so much about getting, or essentially like getting validation or approval from her. Like she'll still give it, but you don't need to ask it too often because you have it. And also there isn't one exact way that she's expecting you to practice, or she's sort of saying like there's no like one right way to practice. You're doing the right things with what you have and what you're doing. And when I say what you have, it isn't in a negative sense. It's like quite literally what you're doing and what you have is great and it's being received well. And she wants to remind you of that because sometimes she's saying that sometimes you can you might get a bit down on yourself about your practice and if it doesn't look like another person's, or if it's you feel like you're not doing enough and things along those lines, but you are. And she likes all the things you do, and she likes the way you implement her and your practice into your everyday devotion and see it as a significant part of your life. She considers you someone who is very righteous at heart in the way that you are genuine and authentic to yourself and others around you. And you seek to, not do things just for appearances or just for to meet some sort of quota or, something like that. It's very much from the heart and what you're doing for yourself, but also for the gods. But really, it's like doing it for you, but not, it's like in a selfless way. Like you still do it for yourself in a selfless way. Don't be afraid to take some time to meditate with her, because sometimes we may intend to meditate with our deities, but then not because we're afraid of something. Maybe it's like not doing it right, not being able to sit down for long enough to do it, not being able to empty our minds, not being able to like get anything from it, or sometimes people might be afraid to hear like something bad. Like if you are someone who receives messages or such from meditations, you can fear hearing that you're actually not doing a good job or something like that. But she's saying that even just trying to imagine what her energy is like while you're sitting down somewhere or doing a meditative activity, so like doing a chore that is just like meditative and you don't really have to think about it, or actually meditating if that's something that you're something that you're more capable of doing or you like to do, or something like like shuffling cards is meditative for me, so that's like a meditative activity. Don't be afraid to just sit in her energy and to imagine it as a way of connecting with her, because our imagination is very powerful, so you never know what you can do with that. And yeah, take the time to separate yourself sometimes from what other people are saying about, what you have to do or how much you have to do. Or even like if you're looking at other people's content, you think, wow, I don't have that. I wish I had that. You still have the gods on your side. They still very much care. And Aset is very much happy with what you're doing and how you're doing. So don't fret about that. And that is your message for today. You are welcome. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and thank you for coming in for the reading. It's always nice to see you, and yeah, do readings with the Netjeru for you. Drink my water. What would you like for a reading, Viv? Awesome. Yes, do that. Feel assured that you're doing a good job. Because you are. Okay, something really unusual. Okay. You tricked me. I thought it was going to be actually something unusual. But it was something very usual. Very evil. Let me just put all these things away because I have a bunch of stuff out. By a bunch of stuff, I mean my Egyptian decks. Alright, so today's reading for you is going to be with Odin. But rather than using the D&D tarot, we're going to use the MTG Oracle. All right. So we have our 3 cards here. We have present awareness. We also have conflict. And also you are your words. I think it's really interesting how both of these cards have someone like holding their hand out like that, like upwards. Almost like projecting something upwards, or could even mean like, I don't know if there's actually like prayer postures in Norse paganism, but it reminds me of like a prayer posture, or like sending a prayer upwards. I mean, this guy looks like he is. He's reciting something, but it's like reciting something upwards. I believe the question here in regards to the conflict is not so much that he sees that like you're fighting or anything like that, or that he's upset that you're fighting, or like upset about anything. But I think it's more so pointing out any conflicts that you are maybe focusing on that can prevent you from doing something. So what I mean by that is sometimes when we think of conflicts, it may be one-sided in the way that we create them. Not that it's like a way to ignore legitimate conflicts and stuff, but sometimes we do overthink things, or wonder if we've done something, or if we're doing something, or if we're not supposed to do something, and then it becomes a conflict to us, even though it's not an actual like conflict between the two people, if that makes sense. So for example, we think to ourselves, I don't want to go to this deity for this inquiry because it's going to be bothersome to them. And then you feel unsupported in whatever it is that you would have asked because you didn't ask. And so that's a conflict, because then you feel like there's a bit of a divide because you aren't able to ask this deity on this about this matter. Whereas the other side of things, to like the other person or the deity themselves, it could be, it feels like this person doesn't feel comfortable coming to me about these things, and so that can be a feeling of disconnect as well. I believe the present awareness card is very important here in terms of literally like at this moment, tuning into things and considering what is it that you may not be addressing. I didn't realize this song was the MC3. Anyway, yeah, what are some things that you may not be addressing yourself like right now? Like don't wait till later on, or till you get into a meditation, or when you're praying to him or anything, to figure things out or try to work out what may be blocking, certain, maybe not even blocking, but like perpetuating certain habits of yours. It's like, just do it now. Like as you're sitting here, as you're laying there, you don't have to like do it perfectly, but yeah, consider to yourself, like what is it that you may be seeing as a conflict, which might not be. And it can involve something like being able to ask or say something out loud, like use your voice, because of the you are your words, the last card here. I feel like this is not the first time you've also gotten that card, but a few people have gotten that before on these streams. And a lot of the time it does come up to mean that you aren't using your words, or you may not be using the words the best way you can, not clearly, or you may be hesitant, and so you kind of fluff around with your words and, pad the words, so then you don't truly get to the meaning of what you're trying to say. He's saying that, right now, he likes plain words. Like, he likes things said plainly and upfront, which can be difficult for some people when they get nervous or, intimidated by a figure who is much, much more powerful. But be straight with him and just say what you mean, and you don't have to say it quickly and you don't have to say it without detail, but try to say it in a way that doesn't fluff around and isn't fueled by some sort of nervousness. Try to feel that confidence that he has, like, you know, taking inspiration from his values and his personality of confidence and sovereignty to be able to have sovereignty over your own requests and your relationship, your devotional relationship between you and him. Does that seem like it may resonate or apply to your situation? Ah. You noticed it too. Is it because it doesn't seem like it's very significant, or because it hasn't been that long, or you think it's not as important? It's genuine questions. Just wondering why you don't think he'd bring it up. Okay, didn't mean to do that. Hi, Sizer. I feel like it's not that significant. Ah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes the way we perceive things may be different from how others perceive things in any like type of dynamic. Bit of a long queue. I think I also added a thing on my channel where there's like a box in the about section that should have the list of, or the queue as well, so you can always look there if you don't want to send the queue command or you're curious about where you're at. You will work on it. Well, don't hesitate to let me know how you go with it, or if you get any more insights on it. And thank you for coming along for a reading today. You're welcome. I love that. The frame perfect request. Do you have a deck preference? No deck preference. Okay. Let's go the classic Rider-Waite. I wasn't watching where I was putting my cards. Is this name pronounced Ve? Because of the accent? Ve. Okay. So the first two cards is the Seven of Swords and also the Seven of Pentacles. My microphone covers like my view of the mat, so I have to reference my camera, use my camera as a reference for where I'm placing things. I find it to be an interesting pairing, and I think like they're coming together on purpose because I have this impression that comes through of how sometimes you feel like you are maybe like tiptoeing. So you feel like you're tiptoeing, or like you may like be accidentally deceiving, or you may not actually be doing something for good, and like there's some hidden agenda that you may accidentally be doing. Whereas Ve wants you to be assured that actually no, you don't just like walk around being sneaky or deceiving, or you're not like tiptoeing or doing something wrong, or you know, anything like that. But instead, everything you do is the results and culmination of your hard work and your growth, right? Because sometimes you may sit there and think, well, where did this come from? Like, am I just saying this, or am I just like claiming this out of nowhere? Or is this really like who I am? And like, am I just saying this? When it's sort of like, sometimes you may not see the entire journey that you've taken to get to where you are right now. And that's what Ve wants you to like kind of focus on at the moment is, you know, in a comforting way, everything you've done is what's brought you here for the better as well. And he wants you to know that, you know, the fruits you've sort of cultivated on your path is special. And, you know, it's not like you have to be the only person to ever have done a thing to be considered special in that regard, but he's saying like to him and hopefully to yourself, you see how important and valuable things you've done and learnt are. When I was split shuffling just then, I saw the Two of Cups and the Lovers. Oh. Oh. Okay. Captured on stream. Who saw that? Who saw that? That was cool. 12 Cups, the Lovers, 8 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Sun, the Four of Swords, the Strength card. These are all just like quick fire reassurances and comfort messages all in a row. You know, his love for you obviously coming through here. 2 of Cups and the Lovers reassuring you of that. The Strength is another card that Strength card is also one I really love in these situations, because, you know, it's like we hear a lot, like, well, people like in certain situations may hear a lot, oh, you're so strong and stuff, but I think truly, like, there can be new meaning found in that sort of statement from the right people. I think once again another acknowledgement of your progress and all you've done to build your life and who you are and your interests. And sometimes you may doubt things if it feels like it's too fast, like, oh, this happened so fast, or this has come into place, or it's like really falling into place together so quickly. Like, how can it be legitimate if it's like that? Which it can be. It is. Sometimes it's not about like how long it takes or what you've done or if you've done enough. Sometimes it is just about, here's where your path was going anyway. So here are the results and the rewards for that. I think like Strength, the Sun is a nice one to have. It's full of joy and happiness and wanting you to have that same joy and happiness that is depicted in this bright card. And finding that childlike awe and wonder in yourself. You know, don't be afraid to have that with him. And I like how this, it kind of pairs with the Emperor in a unique way, because sometimes we can worry like about control and letting go of control. And when I see the Emperor and the Sun side by side here, it sort of makes me think of this idea where you have had enough control over things, or like enough responsibility to hold and responsibility to bear in a situation that you like, not that you have to have that to be deserving of it, but it's like even more so, like you're very, very deserving of having that chance to just be that child in the sun, because you've done all of that work. And just because you kind of have that sun moment doesn't mean you're letting go of that authority and responsibility that you've built for yourself in the good way, right? You know, even just like having moved, that is a huge step for you that reflects the Emperor to me, like when I see it like this. And at the same time, it has those elements of the sun. So it's like you can have both. You don't have to compromise one or the other just because you are developing either your Emperor or the sun. And last one, 4 of Swords. Have some rest. Don't be afraid to rest. Don't be afraid to rest with him, or ask him for some support during resting time. And so that you can, you know, have a little less pressure on yourself. All right, that is your reading. I love the way that the Lovers and 2 of Cups came through. Oh, you're welcome. I'm really happy that it helped a lot. And yeah, it does sound like there's been a lot of change, and that can be scary. And, you know, difficult to go through, especially if it's, you know, a lot on you to do. But you're doing great, and he really cares about you, obviously, having seen the cards that came out. But yeah, thank you for getting your reading here with me today. Feel free to stick around as well. Hi Day Sleeper, welcome back to the stream. Alright. We've got Luca up next. It's Deity Wheel again. I need to add like a widget that is like a spinning wheel. Also, as a reminder for anyone, feel free to join the queue if you haven't already with the !join command. These readings are free, though you are more than welcome to donate to my Ko-fi. I have a link down there in the corner, and also you can do !donate to get to my Ko-fi. Any donations are really appreciated. They're not compulsory, they're not mandatory, but very much appreciated for continuing these streams of free readings. On my Ko-fi, I also offer paid readings, which are usually more detailed and written out for your safekeeping. Or if you want, you can always request me to do an audio or video version instead, if you prefer that. And if you donate as well, you can either choose to have a second reading or you can bump your spot up to the top of the queue. So yeah, that's my little plug. But yeah, we'll get the deity wheel spinning to see who is going to come through for Luca. Also, welcome to the stream, Maverin-Thea. Hope you're doing well today. Is Artemis one of yours, Luca? I need to keep like a board on my wall with everyone's deity wheels and then update it when there's new deities to add to the deity wheel. Okay, Artemis for you today. We'll use the right away as well for this one, unless you have a deck preference, in which let me know. Okay. Oh, there's a meme that she's like... Okay, I need to search it up and see if I can find it because... Yeah, I want to show you what it is. Okay, the meme is... Are you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go ape? And then I'm not going to say the other word because... Yeah. Or it's like, aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go like crazy? It's like... Yeah. I don't know if it will show on the screen. It's a bit bright. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to show. I'll send it to you on Discord. Yeah, that was like the first thing. Because it was like... It's kind of like I just saw her in the forest and she like looked right at me and she was like... She said that to communicate to you. And I just think that's really funny. And also just probably part of the message of what you're being told today. Perhaps around not being so much of a people pleaser or... You know, doing more stuff for yourself or not being afraid to like express yourself as who you are rather than trying to stick to some sort of box or restriction or idea of like someone else's idea of who you are. You deserved to be recognized for who you are and what you do. Thank you, Omen, as well. I really appreciate that. But yes, Six of Wands. Your recognition is important for who you are as a person, not just what other people think of you, but how you want to express yourself and how you want the world to see you, because you get a decision in that as well. Sometimes it can really feel like you don't, but you do. We all do, to an extent and per circumstances, but I think we do. We do have choices in how we can be seen. Yeah, it's so I don't miss it. That's why it's in the chat. If you would like to queue again, Omen, feel free to. Yeah. So the Hermit is here, and this is sort of her way of saying, like, don't worry so much about what other people say your path should be or how it should look, or, you know, don't base how your path should look on other people, because you never see every part of someone's own pathway or their relationship with their deities or spirituality, right? The only practice that you can see the full picture of is your own. And so that's sort of like your guiding light in the night is... So I'm just picking what song I want to listen to. There we go. Yeah, your guiding light is based on what you want and what you want to do rather than anyone else's guiding light. You can't use someone else's torch and like if someone's holding their own lamp and torch, you can't expect that if you want to go a different way or you feel called to go a different way that they'll go the same way. If you know what I mean? It's like you need your own torch and lantern to go in the direction that you want to go. Otherwise, you're going to spend your time following in someone else's shadow and not realizing the full potential of what you want to do. Sometimes it can be comfortable and nice to follow in the footsteps of someone else. Your sister can join the queue if she wants, that's fine. But she needs a Twitch account for that. Unless you want to join on your account for her, then I think you might be able to do that. And yeah, we have the 8 of Pentacles here for you as well. And this is her... What's the word? It's not quite reassurance. It's sort of like... acknowledgement of what you're doing. Like, you're going in the right direction, you're heading on the right path, you're already building up a solid foundation for what you're doing. Keep going with it and you will find results as well as you go on. And remember the meme that I sent as well. The message that we originally started with. Don't compromise your values and what you want to do because of other people, or because you don't see what you want from your path in other people's paths, because it's not about that. And also you don't know everyone's paths, like in the sense of you don't know everyone in the world who has a pathway that might be similar to yours, and even then it's a kind of a tricky search in that case. And if you spend your time searching for someone else to compare to, then you won't find yours. That's what she would like to express to you today. Hold your boundaries and your values strongly because they're yours and they deserve to be... What's the word? You deserve to stand out where you are without having to be in someone else's shadow. Yeah. You're welcome. I hope that message helps and provided you some insight on some things as well. I'm glad. That's good. Authorial, what would you like for your reading? I don't know if I can change the settings so then you can queue twice. Guidance reading using the Rider-Waite deck for whoever feels like coming through. Alright. Well, I believe you are new to the streams because it said your first message was earlier. Usually when I do a whoever comes through reading, I ask for the person to tell me who the deities are because it helps me out, and that's what the metaphorical deity wheel is. We spin the wheel, but it's not really a wheel that I'm spinning. It's me seeing whoever comes through. But if you could let me know who your deities are, then I can do that for you. Ah, I see. Well, typically when I do deity readings, it's when people already have some sort of worshipping or working relationship with deities. Is there a specific pantheon you lean towards or are most interested in? Hellenic pantheon. Alright, cool. Let's see, we can do a message with a Hellenic deity in that case. I think very fittingly, we can do one with Hermes, the messenger of the gods, as he's the one who popped up when you said Hellenic pantheon. Hermes was the first one. We'll do a guidance reading. Well, that's good. If you like Hermes. That's very helpful. Okay, we got a whole lot of cards. Usually we do 3, but then so many came out. So your cards are the Emperor, the Five of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, the Devil, the Lovers, and also the Fool. It sounds like there may be a situation going on at the moment that feels a bit out of your control, or feels like you don't have enough of a say, or you feel like you're not really being, like maybe your authority is not really being recognized in this situation. And it doesn't have to be authority as in you're the leader or manager or like the highest position in this situation, but more like you feel like everyone's deserving of a say here, but then it feels a bit like you're not getting that. And so that can lead to the emotions tied to the Five of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, where the Five of Cups represents how it's difficult to look away from things that haven't worked out, or the cups that have been knocked over, things that have been spilt, and whatever has happened, yet as mentioned, you can't take your eyes off it, so to say. And it's easier to continue looking at these fallen cups rather than turn around and see the ones that are upright and standing there, because you think, well, what about all the waste that came with knocking over those cups? What if I could have done something differently? If only this and if only that. And the Seven of Pentacles here can also speak on how you may feel like after all the effort that you've put in and after the work you've done, even then has it not been enough? Or maybe you're ready for something different, yet you're not able to move into that something different because of your circumstances. You don't get a say in changing your scope, or getting allowing yourself to do something, maybe not allowing yourself, but like even someone else allowing you to go beyond what you've just been assigned, maybe. So that's a bit of cards, and like those are a few cards in terms of what he's trying to describe your situation as. Do you feel like that is sort of fitting or not very fitting to the situation you're trying to get guidance on before I continue on? Because the rest is guidance. Okay. Yes. That makes sense. Yes. Happening as we speak then. I guess that does make sense, because it's sort of like standing among the cups rather than beyond the cups. So it's like you're right in the middle of it all happening. And so like this is... Yeah. Oh, wow. Maybe that's your that's your significator. It's like that's the card that represents you. That's cool. Or very interesting, I should say. So when it comes to your guidance, I find it really interesting that we get both the Devil and the Lovers, because the Devil and the Lovers is meant to represent sort of like two sides of a coin. So they're kind of, well, they are like basically the same card, but in different ways. They're the same format or like composition. They have the same, like there's two figures down here and a winged figure up the top. Yet the environments are very different. So the Lovers is obviously in sort of like the Garden of Eden with the trees here and the mountain. Oh, sorry. And the blue sky and the sun at the top with this angel, whereas the Devil card is this dark void, and there's chains, and yeah, it can feel like a very dark card. But yeah, I like when these two cards come out because it tells me about perspective and about how you can interpret a situation, right? Two sides of a coin is reflective of your situation at the moment. There are two sides of a coin to this, and it can depend on how you wish to approach it. Do you see it as something that is holding you back, that is an obsession, that is locking you up, that feels like you won't be able to ever get out of that? Or do you think it's an opportunity for something else? Just thinking through this as well. And also got distracted by the Megalovania. I think it also speaks to attachments. So the devil is usually associated with attachments as well, like negative attachments, whereas lovers can be about like positive attachments. I'm very much on the edge of opportunity and worried about getting too into it, if that makes sense. Yeah, that actually does make sense. It's like, because this is like obsession versus love, and like these two things can be very much on like the same line. And it's like one decision can make you go one way or the other. And yeah, I think that makes sense with what you just said. Being on the edge of opportunity, worried about getting too into it. And honestly, if you want to know which one you should do, the Fool is definitely a card that reflects getting into it. I think if you are already aware that if you're already feeling worried about getting too into it, then you're going to be more aware, and you're going to notice if you are getting too into it. And you can sort of trust yourself in that regard and trust your instincts rather than thinking that you might accidentally get too into it if you don't. Like, it's sort of like, if you get too afraid to get too into it, you end up holding yourself back from enjoying it and embracing the leap of faith for new opportunity that it is. And again, it can be up to your own decisions of whether you're on this side or that. You know, it's very much a huge balancing act and grey area in terms of how easy it can be to go to either side, as well as how easy it is to choose one side and not go on the other side. But all you can do is embrace the new journey and try new things out and see how they go, because you never know what's going to actually happen and you can't predict the future. As funnily enough, when doing tarot cards, saying you can't predict the future, well, something I try not to do is try read the future with cards, because it can be unpredictable. One day you may read one thing with the cards and the next day you may read something else, and that is very reflective of how life goes. Your decisions will change the course of things. You can make a decision to do the best you can and take this opportunity as the Fool at the beginning of this huge journey of learning and opportunity, and also balance the devil and lovers in the scenario as well. That's okay. Have good phone calls. It's not as black and white as it can seem sometimes. I think it's very possible to walk that fine line as the Fool, rather than thinking that you might get too into it, or like there's a way to do it perfectly, because I don't think there is a perfect way to take this opportunity that doesn't have you getting too into it. It's like you have to have some of it to get what you want out of the situation. Hopefully that provides you some guidance on your situation. You're welcome. Yeah, don't be afraid to do things just because you might get too into them. Like I can understand that for sure. Like you don't want to invest so much or lose yourself in it. Also, if you'd like to update us or tune into future streams, then feel free to drop a follow if you're interested. It'd be nice to see you again and hopefully read for you again in the future. Dusting a tiny shelf. Okay. You may dust the tiny shelf. Oh, hello. Hello, Jing. Welcome to the stream. Alright, let me get my deck. Thank you for following, Jing. Alright, insight and guidance related to the vision that you had.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be?
Alright, so the cards you have are See the Signs. We also have Focus and then Act. And then Love That You Are Different. as I was shuffling the cards, there was an interesting feeling I got where it was like, it felt like I was being dropped into a hole, and like a really like large hole that was like really dark. It's like a bottomless hole or something like that, or pit. And it feels like, you know, when like, I don't know if you know the specific feeling, but for example, like for me as someone who's afraid of heights and like the like the feeling of falling, when I'm on like a flying fox, like a big flying fox, or like on a giant swing, I like hold my breath and like stay very, very still and sort of like brace, because I get like afraid of that. And so it's that feeling of falling and holding your breath really tightly. And she was showing me that image, and it was sort of this idea of her wanting you to understand when to let your breath go, or when to stop holding your breath, and when to start expecting that you're going to land safely, because like you're constantly holding your breath and bracing for impacts that isn't coming, and by like continuously bracing, you don't allow yourself to realize that there's a place to land, and that place to land can be safe. Very much in line with Demeter. There's like a floor or pile of hay or grain that's like really soft, and it's meant to, yeah, it's like symbolic of perhaps a current situation, or maybe related to the vision you had, because I'm not sure if you actually told me what the vision was, so that's, yeah, it's not really coming to mind, but all of that imagery is, interestingly enough. I think See the Signs is such an an interesting card when it comes to things like visions from deities, because oftentimes visions, or I would say from my experience, visions don't come isolated. They are often associated with something else that you may have been communicated of. So, you know, the vision is likely not to be an isolated situation. You may have been receiving signs beforehand or after, or since you've gotten that vision, that are related, that she would like you to put together. Trust your intuition in this sense, where sometimes things may not feel like they're connected, but it's sort of like, she says like draw a mind map. Like draw something really visual for you to allow yourself to connect things that, you know, the meaning behind what she's trying to tell you about. Make it very visual, and yeah, use a mind map, even though it can feel like using a mind map can be a bit, yeah, you don't like the dots you're connecting. Well, she wants you to connect the dots. This is part of the focus in an act. It's like focusing on like really getting into what you already know. It's like, rather than trying to gain more information from something like a reading, which, you know, you're more than fine to get a reading on this right now, but I think she is like saying, you know, use the resources and what the information that you have and know to try and connect the dots and make that mind map, rather than trying to seek even more information, because that may confuse you a bit more and make it trickier for you to understand what she's trying to tell you. It's like if you try to mix too many ingredients in the soup, then the soup maybe doesn't end up tasting good anymore. I think this is a really interesting card, because the rabbit is like, it's a rabbit and a pumpkin or something like that, but also like a bee. So the head and the wings is like a bee. And the bees are quite associated with that holiday that festival I told you about, or that, I don't know if it's a festival holiday, but it's like the Theos, forgot, I know the word by sight, I don't know it by pronunciation, but it's the, it's deeply associated with Demeter and Kore and bees and possibly fertility? Question mark? I should know this because I have peers who are doing reconstruction and such around this topic, and they're very cool, but it's slipping my mind. All I know is that bees are involved, and Melissae, who are, I think, both nymphs, a type of nymph and also a type of priestess, which is interesting. But anyway, the bee mention is there, which I think is cool, and also alludes to that one holiday I told you about that may be associated with Demeter. So maybe that's something you should look into, or it may represent something for you to connect in terms of that vision. Okay, Demeter heard. Hopefully that means you kind of get what I'm saying, because there was a whole lot there that can feel a bit vague and also like, oh, you should just work it out yourself. But yeah, I truly think that's what she was trying to communicate through these cards and through the other vision, like this vision that she's giving me, which I don't know like how related it may be to your vision, but hopefully it gives you a little bit of something to work with. I think it's definitely something that you may know something about already, but you're not willing to let the shoe drop, not willing to let it land. You're welcome. No, I'm not willing to let the shoe drop. Well, in any case, best of luck in doing something about it, question mark? Because I don't want to say working it out, because maybe you've already worked it out, but progressing on this lead. Liza, it's your turn, and then once it's been your turn, you can queue again for your sister. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Luca. Would I be able to do a crossroads reading between choosing day shift versus evening shift for your permanent position at work? Yes, we can do that. We can pull cards for each option to see which one may be more suitable for you. Okay, Angel Tarot cards. All right, so we'll do a couple cards or a few cards for day shift. All right, and cards for night shift or evening shift. One of the cards you got for evening shift is the moon. That's funny. All right. The wrong numbers in. Oh, thank you. Okay, so first impressions is that both are pretty good. So I think if you choose either, there's no wrong choice. But we'll go through what each of them are saying specifically as well. So we have for the day shift, Judgment is this card. So Judgment. We also have the Four of Cups and the Page of Wands. I think Judgment can be a good indicator of things because it's sort of like an opportunity for you to rise up, or sort of like, you know, in this new permanent position, being able to fill it in really well in the day shift, and sort of like, I like to say, like rising up to the occasion and leveling up, and, you know, seeing yourself as someone who's moving upwards and progressing in your field and in your pathway. I also think it's funny how this Judgment card says the God hidden in darkness, where it's sort of like you tend to be in the darkness a lot, or like hide in the dark, or be under the covers of the nights a lot. So maybe it's like a good change to be in the daytime. But we'll go through the other cards as well. So the Page of Wands is this one, No More Vampire. Page of Wands, which tells me that doing the daytime shifts will give you a lot of new opportunities for your growth. And there's also propagation of light is one of the descriptions in the bottom here, which I think is funny as well, because daytime and light. So it's like you'll be planting a lot of seeds by going the daytime shift, because there may be some different opportunities in the day compared to the night. And it's like you're not only choosing the day shift, it's like you're choosing a lot more that comes with that. And propagating means to sort of like you take a bit from the original plant and put it in a new thing, and it grows into another plant. And so it's like snowballing, like one opportunity will lead to another and another and another, continuing onwards and propagating. Something that catches my eye in the Four of Cups is the last line of description that says safety in travel, which makes sense, because if you're traveling to your work in the daytime, you're less likely to run into some issues that you might experience it at night, and maybe it will like genuinely just be more safe for you to go to work, to and from work, especially after longer shifts during the day. I was going to say less chance of hitting wombat, but I feel like I'd be really concerned if there was a wombat on your specific route to work. Like, why would a wombat be there? But it was kind of something that came to mind. I was like, you're less likely to hit anything because it's not nighttime. But also the Four of Cups it's sort of like this idea that you might not be seeing a benefit of the daytime right now. Like there might be a benefit that remains like just out of your eyesight, so you kind of can go looking for it. That sounded like I wasn't finishing my sentence, but yeah, the Four of Cups can represent like an opportunity or something being presented to you that you may be missing at the moment. So there's a lot of good things about the daytime. Let's look at the nighttime. So we have the Ten of Cups here, which usually symbolizes a lot of like emotional fulfillment. So perhaps for you, it's more emotionally fulfilling to be working in nighttime because maybe it helps you wind down from the day, or maybe it's like because it's what you may be used to in your routine. It may be to do with the people you're around. So maybe you feel more at home with the people who work during the night rather than people who work during the day. Or perhaps it, suits your day-to-day life a bit better to like, as far as you know, to work in the nighttime. So the moon has come up for nighttime as well. This one is a bit more of a negative card, where what stands out to me is the line has the power to destroy. In the sense that if you're someone who keeps working in the nighttime a lot, especially in your new permanent position, it does have the potential to be harmful to your health and also things like your social life or day-to-day life. So if a lot of people that you're spending time with or wanting to spend time with operates during the day when you'd be like asleep or trying to reset from working, then it may make it more difficult for you to feel connected with things in your life, right? Whereas if you were working during the day, yes, you're working during the day, but at least you're sleeping at night, and then you'd be able to make plans during the day, like around your work, because more people around you are likely to be working those 8 hours or so during the day as well. And so it's like easier for like scheduling. But yeah, also things around health. Very important. We also have the card here, Temperance, for nighttime. And that's telling me that you'd have to be like there's a lot that you'd have to balance. Like a lot, you'd have to put a lot more effort into balancing things if you were to work during the night shift. Temperance is about moderation and balance, and so it's sort of like, do you want to make it easier on yourself and not have to do that, and instead work in the daytime rather than the nighttime? Five of Pentacles. Patience reveals secrets of nature, spreads knowledge and industry. Yeah, daytime seems to be in the positive light. It's like there are good, I think the good things that may be perceived about the nighttime is because it may be like what you're used to. Like you're used to being up late at night, and like maybe there are certain qualities, like I don't know if it's like more quiet or something at your work at nighttime, but or like in the evening shifts. But it's like things like that. It's like the hidden in the dark thing. I feel like this card is very double-sided as well, like the Five of Pentacles for this, because spreads knowledge in the industry can be a really positive thing for your field as well. It's like you want growth through knowledge in industry. But at the same time, it's like Five of Pentacles and the word patience is saying to me that it's going to take a bit longer to progress in your role if you work during the night for whatever reason. Maybe it's managers that are on, or the organization's ability to like keep track of your progress. So it's like there are good opportunities that could come from here, but it might be a bit slower than if you were to work in the daytime. So perhaps it's time to make a healthy change where you won't be running into any wombats on the road and your opportunities may be more accessible. Oh no, you gotta go. Okay, well, catch you next time. I would be happy to I can like give you priority or a second reading next time instead. Bye, Omen. Starting to lean towards daytime. Aha. Yeah. Social life. Yeah. I think that's a big thing. I think the fact that temperance came up on this side, and that's sort of like you would have to balance a lot, including like your different lives. Friends would be during day shift. Nighttime just means a bit more pain, waking up later. Yeah, I think it's sounding like it might be more worth it to work during the day. You'll still get your pay, of course, but you'll also be with your friends and also be able to schedule your social life a bit easier. It sounds like there are some growth opportunities available during the daytime. Yeah. You're welcome. Let me move the thing so then you're able to re-queue for your sister. Happy to do readings for you. And that was a good question. Day sleeper's turn. Okay. Do you have a deck preference? Where'd the box go? Oh, it's up here. Yep. I accidentally slammed. I didn't really slam, but I accidentally tapped the microphone with the box. Dealer's choice. And by dealer's choice, we mean Dionysus's choice. Because he likes this one. You got like 5 cards. Well, not like 5 cards. You literally got 5 cards. But that's okay. Okay, I don't know if this is off base, but there's a very interesting thing with the 8 of Wisdom. He's like, let me in, or something like that. I don't know. It's like you're the person holding that shield, and he's like blasting this beam of light on you, saying like, let me in, or let me through. And then you're not wanting him to do that blast of light onto you, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be light. It could be just like his presence, his energy, something. And there's a sense of like, you know, you're holding your fist against the thing. So it's like you're choosing to like try and maintain this position, but also if you're getting pushed up against with this like beam of something, like if it's powerful enough, it might end up harming your arm. And I feel like it's this idea of you won't get as hurt when you let the light beam go through rather than trying to shield it. I need to open my windows, I see. I mean, once I did give a reading where, in fact, it was about someone needing to keep their window open, or open their window, and not close the blinds. We also have the King of Charisma here, and I feel like these two go together because it's sort of like, let me give you something, or let me give you something. It's like he's trying to give you something and you're not really wanting to accept it because you think it might be too much, or it's like you're thinking, oh, maybe it's not for me, or maybe it's not actually like what I think it is. And he's saying, please just let me give it, like, let me just pour it onto you. And one of the first things I thought of when I saw this King of Charisma card was this idea of like serenading. So take that as you will. It's very strong let me serenade you vibes, but also like I'm going to serenade you as a means of like tricking you into letting me give you whatever this is. So something that you've been a bit more resistant to. Yeah, it's like trying to be sneaky and like sweet talk and serenade in order to let you, like, to have you let your guard down so he can blast you with this like thing of light. Ah, I see. Let me in or I'll start singing. Yeah, it very well could be. We also have the 4 of Intelligence here. And the 2 of Intelligence. I feel like there's something that's been... Maybe like when you've been trying to communicate with him, or you've been like meeting him in astral, for example, or like, you know, interacting with him in any way, there may be something that's... I wouldn't say metaphorically, but it's like some sort of presence or energy or topic, or like, I feel like it can range anywhere from literally another spirit or deity to a elephant in the room that you're not talking about, that's sort of looming over you two as you interact, that you haven't been able to address yet because he's waiting for you to sort of make a decision on something. And that's where the 4 of Intelligence and 2 of Intelligence sort of come together, where you may be of 2 minds about something. You may be thinking there's 2 ways I can go about this, and I don't know which one, so I'm not going to choose either. But he's kind of doing this thing where he's bringing it up and then dropping it and then like running away. So it's like, let me drop you this thing at your feet and do with it what you will, but also do what I think is best for you in this situation. But it's like acting like he's leaving it to you, but also he has a certain way that he would like you to deal with this situation and this choice that you've been meaning to make but haven't quite yet. But yeah, definitely this like elephant in the room vibe going on. Ten of Wisdom. Trying to think of exactly what it is. You have some ideas. Ten of Wisdom is the equivalent to the Ten of Cups. So that can be around family, connections, community, and especially in this context of the D&D Tarot, a connection between the heart and mind and harmony between the heart and mind. Could be related to whatever this elephant in the room is. Something that is important to your heart and mind, maybe something to do with family, whether that's your like physical family, divine family, could be to do with adjacent values, such as I mentioned, community, or feelings of belonging, or yeah, community, like being part of community, or maybe even he says like being a leader in your community. I'm not sure if that implies that like you've discussed starting some sort of community, or you are already part of a leading role in some sort of community that's related to him or not. Not this again. What does that mean? Oh, thank you, Daphne. Also, I haven't heard this song in forever. That's playing in the background. Feel free to re-cue Daph if you would like. But I hate being in charge. Oh, it's I See a Dreamer. Dreamer over there by the water, but I got no. Okay, I can't say that word. I see a dreamer and he's ripe for the slaughter. Yeah, that song. Cute. He's unsubtle. Yeah, I think that's the elephant in the room. I think it's about leadership, because I was like, actually, this card is probably talking about being in a position of leadership in the community, or something to do with him. And he's wanting you to like sort of talk about that, make a choice about that. You'll conquer them in the end. I see a dreamer over there by the water, but I got no. I see a dreamer and he's ripe for the slaughter. I'm grimacing, but thank you. Yeah, I didn't imagine it would be something that wasn't grimace worthy. Oh, you figured out what it... Okay, tell us what it was... Oh, if you want to tell us what it was really about, then please go ahead. I do a lot of dream work, and when I reach the water, I can cross over. Ooh. Oh, maybe that's... Okay, maybe that song was like really significant to you then. Because... Yeah. I was just like, huh, this song I haven't heard in a while, and... Aha! Praying out loud. That makes sense. First time hearing it. Oh, okay. Maybe it's just a song I've heard a lot before. Yeah, I See a Dreamer. So, yeah, you could look into the lyrics of that one. That makes sense. Maybe that he might want you to be praying out loud and using your words in that way. I just hydrated for that hydrate claim. Oh, hang your moment. Okay. Let me see if I can get a new picture of Haniel for the Haniel moment rather than using the old ones. I feel like I doubt that these songs are DMCA free, but it says they are. If my entire VOD gets copyright striked, that will be very sad. Your playlists usually have lyrics. Mine do. These playlists I use for streams are not my own playlists because I'm trying to play music that won't get copyrighted, but then I still end up getting copyrighted for some things. I'm going to play a different playlist because I am suspicious of this playlist I was using. Alright, let me see. Need a hand picture. I need to save this picture. Here we go. Hand slip. Oops. Currently writing down prayers. I'll use them later on as inspiration to create my own. Oh, okay. That's awesome that you figured it out. That about what exactly it was about. So it was like related to what we were getting at. Alright. Jing, are you still around for your reading? You guys like the new Haniel? The new Haniel moment? This is her sleeping on my blanket. Ooh, what is it? I don't think I can guess. It's too broad of a guess I could make. Chicken butt, okay. Nice. Alright, we shall move the queue along, I think, and if Jin comes back, then they can re-queue. But we'll do Size's sister. So, what does she have to ask? What opportunities await for me with the Egyptian Gods Oracle deck? Okay. Is it the youngest sister or the middle sister, so I know who I'm reading for? Okay. Interesting cards. Alright, let's go through them. So your first card here is with Happy or Happy Renewal, and I like all of these cards because I know who all of the deities here are. Because I was a bit nervous that I'd get cards I wouldn't have any idea what they're about, but Happy. So there are two different gods named Happy, but this one is associated with the inundation of the Nile, which is for the ancient Egyptians, an event that happened annually where the Nile River flooded and the water flooded over their land, which could be disastrous, but also at the same time watered their land in order for them to grow crops, in order for them to grow things that could feed them. And so this was seen as a great time, like a prosperous time, which we'll get to because it's actually a card here that says prosperity, but it was a very prosperous time for them in this case. And so this is... No, it's not. That was just me describing the story. Nothing here is like, it's not meant to be scary. It's not disastrous. It's saying that there will be opportunities actually coming soon that will be this feeling of renewal. It's this feeling of, you know, something coming through in a big rush, and then you'll have a chance to like try new things or feel refreshed or renewed. And it's like new farmland that has a lot of potential for growth, right? So it's like, in a good way, it's like potential for growth and a lot of things that could be coming your way, especially when it comes with the card Geb. So Geb is prosperity, and he is the god of the earth, which is really fitting because you can see how in both of these cards we have these like lotus flowers. I believe these represent lotus flowers, where one of them is like planting the flowers and one of them has grown the flowers. And I think that is really cool. It's a great progression because it shows that for the opportunities coming your way, your renewal and planting of the seeds are not going to be for nothing, right? It's going to mean something and it's going to grow into something prosperous. So prosperity can exist in a lot of different forms. It can be monetarily, it could be opportunity based, it can be like getting gifts or things like that. Like prosperity is just a really great and reassuring card for you, especially as they come these two paired together. It's a very auspicious, so a very good and lucky pairing to get. Okay, now don't be scared. This card has the word death on it. It doesn't mean you're gonna die, so don't worry about that. This is Osiris, death and rebirth, and this is Isis, faith and wisdom. Isis and Osiris are a couple. So they are husband and wife. And the story of Osiris, or one of the most significant stories with Osiris, is that he ended up getting chopped up into pieces by the god Set or Sutek. And all of his pieces got thrown into a river. And when Isis found out about this, she went to the river and collected the pieces of her husband and wrapped him up like a mummy, which is why he's like dressed in like the white. Don't freak out, it's fine. And from there, he was reborn as Osiris. Like he was Osiris already, but he was reborn as the god he's known for today, who is someone who guards the gates or oversees the gates of the underworld, and someone who represents rebirth and transformation. So it's not a bad thing, right? It's not supposed to be a scary thing. It's representing how even through all of the bad things, even through death itself, he still came out the other side victorious and alive. And that was like due to his wife as well, Isis, who is the mistress of magic, and she is associated, as said here, like with faith and wisdom, having faith that, you know, things can be restored, things can come back to life, and having that wisdom to be able to put her husband back together and revive him, creating that cycle of rebirth. And so this is to say that even when things may feel like they're not going in the right direction, or even when you may need to release things or let things go, because death in usually with cards, like in card readings, don't usually mean dying. It actually means things like letting something go, or, you know, something happening that makes you clear away the pathway, even if it means you have to leave something behind. But it does mean making room for something ahead. So when I see Osiris and Isis paired together, I think it's a really good pairing as well, because it's saying that even when you may experience loss, you will find a lot more, like you'll gain a lot more from that. You can actually see that in the imagery here. So on the Osiris card, we have like this one plant with these tomato berry things and flowers. And then you can see on Isis's card, it's like there's so many more like flowers and plants growing out. So don't see loss as a completely bad thing. See it as an opportunity to grow something new and more. It makes room for all the stuff that actually matters rather than keeping all the stuff that doesn't, and preventing yourself from getting those fresh new opportunities that may not have come if you didn't let yourself let go of things. Yeah. In terms of opportunities that await you, it looks really great. It looks really, really good. A lot of prosperity coming your way, a lot of opportunity for you to plant some seeds and gain some new opportunities. And also allow yourself to go through like a makeover or revival or a refresh. I think she will, because of the prosperity and the renewal, and like, you know, from all the rejections you get, you just need one yes. And you'll get there. You're welcome. Please don't freak out too much. It's not supposed to be scary. And yeah, the card you need to worry about is the Tower. Tower is scarier than death. Death's turn again. Let me know what you'd like a reading on. Also, Luca, if you were still here, you can re-queue as well, because you had donated. So please feel free to re-queue if you're still here. Yeah, already. The queue wasn't that long when you queued up, I don't think. We also skipped someone because they weren't here. Luca, are you there? Because you can re-queue. Sometimes I forget to say it. Any monies. Any dollars. There's no actual limit. It's just... I mean, I guess technically with Ko-fi, I don't know if you can actually do less than how much one is, which is $3. So if it doesn't let you go under, then it's probably $3. But yeah, you can donate any amount. Muldoon is crying at my wall because I hung a hagstone out of his reach. He wants the mystery stone. Or he feels threatened by your protective measures. One Dionysus reading, please. Yeah, he's like, how dare you protect yourself against my shenanigans with that hagstone. I'm shuffling the cards, and Dionysus is like, you know what's on my mind? Oh, actually, sorry, let me get the tone correct. And you think what the tone he's using is. You want to know what's on my mind? Shaking it, and then he like dances. I don't know if I can truly get his essence across with my voice, but it's just like him dancing from side to side, and he kind of like has his arms up, and he's going like, you can't really see it on the camera, but I'm sure you can see it on your end if you ask him to show you, or if he's showing you without asking, without you asking. I'm glad you like the new hand you'll pick. He's always doing weird little dances and making jokes. Yeah. He also says, what's on my mind? Well, what is ever not on my mind? Ah, thank you, Day Sleeper. Feel free to re-queue. If that was to re-queue, sometimes, or all the times, it considers orders donations. So if you order a reading, it will do that. Okay, just checked. It was that for that. Cool. All right, what's on his mind? He's saying to you, please stop being like poor little me. Like, stop saying you're so tiny and you can't do anything, or, you know, thinking that you're a weak person or you're not doing enough, because you're actually this one, a very powerful person who, even when you don't realize it, you know exactly what you want. He's saying, stop being like this one, poor little me. Keep acknowledging this position of yours. So this is Queen of Intelligence, this Queen of Swords. I don't know if he uses that to describe you sometimes, but yeah, Queen of Swords. Someone who can speak their mind, who is honest, and, you know, can be commanding, but also not just like be a hard set like authority, but someone who can care for and nurture their surroundings and what they're doing. Like, it's not like you're just saying stuff to just say stuff. You have meaning behind it. Wheel of Fortune as well. The wheel is always turning, and you're not going to believe the convo we had last night. Does it happen to be related to this? What he's saying? Yeah. Wheel of Fortune. The wheel is always moving. It's never static. Life is in cycles. Some cycles we break. Some cycles are good for us. It's up to us to remember that, you know, everything's always moving forward and around, and there's always something new to come, and can add a little spice to things you've already experienced. But otherwise, yeah, it's up to you to kind of see how you want to look at the Wheel of Fortune. Do you want to focus on all the good stuff or the bad things? It's like, do you want to look forward to the good things or dread the bad things? You can have a choice in the Wheel of Fortune as well. The moment you started speaking, I groaned. Yeah, I mean, I saw the card and I was thinking, oh, he's going to say a message about how you see yourself and how you regard yourself. He wants you to know that he sees you as someone who is very, very much in the position of the Queen of Intelligence rather than being in the 5 of Charisma. Nope, you got the Tower and 10 of Wisdom as well. That's the scary card we were just talking about. But also makes sense with this because to sort of work through like what it is you spoke about, you're going to need to experience the Tower. Like, you're not going to get to the point of, you know, really applying what he's saying unless you have that shaking and maybe even destruction of some foundations and thought patterns that you have about yourself. 10 of Wisdom is, of course, him acknowledging that you are fully capable, heart and mind, to make the change you need to make. That's one of the things on Dionysus's mind that he wanted to share with you. You're welcome. Thank you for supporting. Oh, my thing's delayed. That's not good. Alright, let's see. Testing, testing. Okay, cool. Yes, thank you for supporting me and these streams and for being here as well. Alright, Nico. Let me know what you'd like a reading on. Also, it says that you are not a follower on my Play with Viewers thing, so if you would like, feel free to drop a follow if you haven't already, because maybe the bot's glitched or something. I don't know. Yeah, you were second on the queue. It was a very small queue. Yay, thank you for following. Follower Gomet, 150. How amazing. Alright. This perhaps will be our last reading for the night because it's almost 1 AM. So then I would like to have some sleep. Okay, follow-up question about the last one. Let's hear it. Regarding channeling, is there bridal trance work and what that entails down the line for me in some capacity? Do you mean, is there bridal work associated with what it is that he's talking about? Like, I think I'm missing part of the context that is not allowing me to understand the question. Okay, so is there... Yeah, feel free to rephrase. And don't worry. Yeah, that's okay if it's early. Or if you have to rephrase. We have the time. Perfect. That is something I can read for sure. Okay, he immediately says, how can the answer be anything other than yes? The star, which is yes. The sun, and the 7 of charisma. 7 of charisma is also 7 of pentacles. So you having done the work, like you putting in the work and finding growth there. But I mean, I think the star and the sun are pretty obvious already. When it comes to if he is, then the answer is yes. And I think there is a lot of fruit that tree will bear for you. There's your confirmation. Yeah, I mean... Yeah. The same two cards from before came up. The 5 and the thing. 9 of strength. I'll be restructuring practice soon, so I'll add it to a list. Huh? Yeah. Queen of intelligence and the 5 of charisma came up again. And also 9 of strength. I think this is answering your question about like what it entails. I think it will really help you understand more about your relation to him. Like you already know, a lot about your relation to him already, but like even more of your relation and position and like the self-esteem associated with that. You're like feeling like a sense of self-worth. And when I see the 9 of strength, I think there's also like there's multiple people in this image, and there's like a person who's like standing there, and she's in like a very distinguished position. So I think when it comes to like community work as well, this trans work / bridal work will also, it will enable you to be able to be in a position that will support others who may be experiencing these feelings associated with these cards, or at least the feeling is feeling associated with this one, where they feel like they're unable to bridge that idea that they are worth much more to divinity than some people may realize or comprehend. Just to answer that other part of your question. Yeah.
No, I can't call it a home, it's just a stop along the way. And I don't know where I'm going, but it seems it'll be okay.
It's some big work, but I feel like it aligns really well with your path.
Summer was like a dream, and I'm
Gotta buckle up and get things done then. Yes.
out what it means. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what it means.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you have time, and I'm sure he'll be happy to have that conversation with you.
Harder every year. The people that I know slowly moving away. They're moving towards everything that I have feared. Autumn fades back into
And if you want to chat about it, feel free to message. But also not forced, you don't have to as well.
when the summer comes around, it will go around again. It will all be just like a dream.
Alright, well, that brings us to the end of our queue, and I would like to sleep soon. So we will look if there's anyone we want to raid today, but I'm not sure because it doesn't look like there's anyone that I usually like. There's hardly anyone I follow streaming right now. Thanks, Steph. I hope I have a good sleep too. Tomorrow is a public holiday for my state, which I'm very happy about and excited for, because it means I don't have to work. But it's also a very silly public holiday because it's called Finals Eve or something like Grand Final Eve. So it's the eve of our like football, like AFL's Australian Football League finals, like grand final, and they made a public holiday out of that for our state. Thank you for being here. I love your emojis, they're so cute. Alright, let's go raid It's Practical Magic. Thank you once again, everyone, for coming along. If you do want a private reading with me, you can buy one at my ko-fi.com/crossroadstarot. And also in my About section, you can join my Discord server, which is a devotional space for Hecate. But you can also join if you're just curious as well. Thank you again. Have a good time zone. Have a good day. See you next time.